Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on Tuesday, the 21st of November, rather. As always, we bring you the news, community stories, economics, weather and sport. I am Ashwin Berry.
And I am Ogito Greg.
Good to have you here, Ogito. Let's get straight into our news stories. Now, the National Housing Enterprise successfully concluded its Hobabis housing project, signaling a significant stride in addressing housing challenges for low to medium income earners. Jemima Ndebele reports.
The National Housing Enterprise, NHE, has successfully concluded its Hobabis housing project, signaling a significant stride in addressing housing challenges for low to medium income earners. Initiated in 2022, the Hobabis project, with an investment exceeding 25 million Namibian dollars, has reached fruition. Comprising of 65 housing units, including a mix of 69 1- to 3-bedroom houses and 16 townhouses, the completed project is poised to make a positive impact on the local community. NHE's Manager of Corporate Communications and Marketing, Mutonga Matali, said that the allocation process for potential beneficiaries is underway. Furthermore, the project contributed significantly to the local economy by generating employment for over 150 Namibians during its construction phase.
All right, now Algeto Greg is a senior journalist with Republican, so he's the right person to be asking these questions because the news is always flowing in your direction. So, do you feel that Namibia is meeting the current housing demand?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ashwin, but no, not even close.
Not
That's
close.
a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, Conservative Reports puts the national housing backlog at 300,000.
Wow.
And Windhoek, we're around 84,000.
Yes.
So 65 houses, it's very needed in Hobabis, but we are nowhere.
We're nowhere near. Yeah, and you know, it's not just about the housing, it's also the quality of the housing. I remember the Haradab governor, Solomon April, talking about he doesn't want any investments where, you know, people are building things that would dilapidate at a fast pace. And of course, you think about the shacks. In fact, there's an entire federation called the Shack Dwellers Federation, which implies some form of, I don't know, if there's such a thing as temporary permanence, in the sense that it is so prevalent that we can say people dwell in shacks for the foreseeable future.
Yes. I did a story yesterday, it's in today's paper, where I interviewed a lady from RCC camp in Okahanya. And she's upset because she's been living in a house that was originally donated to her family by RCC for 30 years. And she's been trying to buy the land that the house is on for 30 years. Since that donation was made. But the municipality never reacted, and in the meantime, they've sold that whole land to another developer for about 100,000. So all of those, it's about 30 families who live in RCC camp.
Yes.
They are waiting on the court and on the police to come and evict them.
My goodness.
Yes.
Truly saddening, and we'll certainly be looking forward to an update on that particular story because, yeah, no one should, 30 years. It's a
30
long
years,
time.
yeah. The municipality wants to move them to a new location that they are establishing at the rubbish dump.
Wow. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. As we move over to news story 2, Darren Tang, Director General of the World Intellectual Property Organization, says that Namibia can achieve its industrialization goals and must utilize intellectual property to achieve its lofty goals. Ohono Hlage was there.
Of around 3 billion people, and I believe, coming from Singapore, I understand what it means to have a small population. With a population of 3 million people, I believe that Namibia's Vision 2030 says it best when it describes that, and I quote, people are the nation's human wealth. Indeed, the wealth of a country does not just come from the earth, which will only deplete over time, but from the ideas, the intellect, and the creativity of its people. That's why I'm inspired that Namibia's Vision 2030 and your national development plans and the Harambe Prosperity Plan sees Namibia as a knowledge-based economy, industrialized economy, focusing on skills, ingenuity, innovation, and creativity. At WIPO, we believe that intellectual property will be a key catalyst in helping you achieve this vision.
Now, intellectual property is a tricky subject, one that hasn't been broached enough. In fact, in our international news, we're going to be talking about the developments with ChatGPT, which has been the cause for a lot of intellectual property uproar, if you will. So let's talk about BIPA. They do have a responsibility. People need to be conscientized on how intellectual property works in Namibia. Do you feel that they're going far enough with regards to their mandate?
Ashwin, it's a huge mountain to climb. It's like a Kilimanjaro or some kind of, because I think that the closest that most Namibians would associate with intellectual property rights is music rights.
Yes.
NASCAM and so forth.
And even there, it's not fully...
And even there, we are way behind. But to think about intellectual property rights in terms of a recipe that you've invented, or in terms of method of building, or it really is something that permeates every aspect of your life. And I think that many innovative inventions that we do have, we take for granted. So first we'd have to change the mindset of everybody in the country to be able to recognize what intellectual property rights are and how they pertain to myself. But then once we've done that, we'd really have to overhaul the whole process of securing your rights.
Yes.
Because it's a cumbersome process, it's expensive,
Absolutely.
and I don't think that many people would consider going into that process if they don't realize that the potential benefits that they are giving up.
I think back to the South African who created the Call Me Back, and how many years that dragged on just for him to get the intellectual rights on that, solidified, and for him to get millions. Turns out, as a Namibian, you might have millions sitting somewhere because of your ideas. Your ideas do mean something, and of course it's BIPA's duty to make sure that you are always aware of their value. Now, in our breaking news post, Namibia joins in on World Toilet Day commemorations. Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services Esther Muyenjangwe delivers a keynote address at the official ceremony, which was held in Swakopmund. President Gitau was there.
The World Toilet Day 2023 will focus on the theme of accelerating change. Namibia is commemorating this important day for the first time since it was established by the World Toilet Organization in 2001 and was made official by United Nations observance in 2013. World Toilet Day is an annual United Nations observance promoted through a worldwide public campaign that encourages action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. For too long, the subject of sanitation and toilets has been silent, probably considered as a taboo. Yet, today, more than 2.5 billion people around the world have no access to improved sanitation. We have seen also the drama here in front of us. But sanitation is so important. And I want to quote Deepak Chopra, who is reminding us that although we take sanitation for granted, sanitation is a physical measure that has probably done more to increase human lifespan than any kind of drug or surgery. That's how important sanitation is.
All right, so as we commemorate World Toilet Day, how important is sanitation? I think we've got an idea.
I think it's absolutely important.
Yes,
one of the things I noticed in that video was the sign that said sanitation is equal to dignity. And it is so true, it is undignified for our people to have to go and relieve themselves in a riverbed. It's also unsafe in terms of hygiene, but also in terms of crime.
Yes.
And we've got many communities that don't have any other choice. That's the only option that they have.
Especially the folks who find themselves living in shack communities, a lot of them find themselves only being able to use one latrine facility, if one at all.
If one at all. And then on top of that, you know, when there are initiatives where they build community toilets, it's very difficult to get the community to take ownership of that toilet so that they can keep it clean and take care of it. There's always vandalism.
Yes.
People often break it for access to water.
Aha.
But also, I think that it's a matter of speaking to people in a way that allows them to claim their dignity. If that is done, I think we could have a lot more success. But the way that we go about it these days, you know, often the communities feel they aren't informed, they aren't included. One day they wake up and suddenly there's a toilet built, one for every 30 houses or so. That's about our standard, 30 houses, 20 houses.
Yikes.
And then the people who've built the toilet, they are gone.
Depends on the time of the election campaign.
Exactly.
Sometimes. All right. Those have been our top stories. Our Ghetto is still here. I'm still here. Story of the day after the break as we swing over to Walvish Bay talking about retirement savings. Stay with us.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Now, residents in Walvish Bay gathered at the Narraville Community Hall to share their input at the public consultations on the preservation of retirement savings regulation. The Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises is holding a public consultation countrywide to get insights from the public regarding the topic. Frida Moloto was there.
Visa does not even care when we give the money to Capricorn or whoever, because it goes to the farms of the milk farms and to the whatever fields and to the whatever factory. It doesn't even get here. It doesn't even reach here. There's not a single cent of investment that I've seen that is tangible, that has impacted the people and make people feel that there's a sense of comfort that development or my money is actually working for me. That does not reciprocate. So I will then come back to the foundation. Whose money is it? Because it seems to me that the government has bullied us off from the money or wants to bully me from my own money and do with it as it pleases. And yet again, not have any.
Like with our current high tax, like how she mentioned, tax rate, I feel like it's a double punishment to retain 75% in the preservation fund, put it, and then to also then just tax again the 25% that I get. So I think it's a double punishment because now you're taking 75%, you give me 25%, then you still tax it. So how much am I left with? So maybe I think you have reverse priorities or unallocated priorities that are not right. No. So my stance is no.
If the government wants to create wealth for us, for retirement, they must start with lowering the tax brackets already now, because it's super high. My question number one is, currently the status quo, are we even happy with it? Those that went on retirement get a 1/3 and the rest they get in monthly portions. Are we happy with it? Yes. No.
It was 1990, you are seeing the benefit.
If it was done in 1990,
you are seeing the benefit there for doing it.
If it was done in 1990, we could not be here today. We could be used, it could be one time. You pay off everyone. That is one of my proposals. If these things is to be done, retire everybody from the pension fund now. Can that money come now? If we said we want that money tomorrow,
there's nothing.
It will not be. This money is used by those guys. They are using our money. If you said bring our money now, there's nothing. There's no such a money. But that is one option you can do. Retire all the people from their pension. We start over.
I can't work anymore. Maybe health issue, and then I just feel like I can't do this anymore. I'm throwing in the towel. I need medical attention. Somebody have to care for me. I need to pay that person. I got 75%, which is sitting in the coffer. And what am I going to do? So those are the things that you need to go and ask them, what should we do, or what should we tell these people in situation like this and this and this? This person gets retrenched out of control, but the child still have to go to school.
Strong words from the community, understandably so. How important is it for the community to gain insight into their retirement savings?
It is vitally, vitally important. You know, if you even look at the name of this new legislation, Preservation of Retirement Savings Regulation, it implies that people's retirement savings need to be preserved.
There's a leak somewhere.
Because those people are irresponsible in using their retirement savings. But I think it doesn't give the proper weight to the reality of the situations that people face on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis. Things happen, and there's times when you need your money, you need to use your money. I think that it's vitally important to inform yourself as to the different products that are out there, to compare the different products. Don't just accept that your company has your pension at one or other fund. Shop around, inform yourself, and make your decision for yourself. And it's time that we take the power back, you know, because as with many of the points that were raised in those clips, you know, where is the money used? If it's not used in your society, in your community, what's the good of it? You know, now it's being used by fund managers and various investment houses. They're all looking for returns, which is their mandate. But we should be able to see the returns from our money in our lifetime, in our community, in our surroundings. Namibia has excellent savings. There's a lot of money saved, and yet we are a rich nation full of poor people. So these are things that need to be addressed, and they can only be addressed if you empower yourself by informing yourself. So it is vitally important that you know as much as you can possibly know about your retirement savings and the options that are available.
Empower yourself. Very, very important. I was actually going to touch on the importance, you know, starting with saying the preservation. It almost forgoes the responsibility to educate these people extensively, and to start with the education by calling it preservation, again, kind of just, you know, takes the responsibility away from who was supposed to keep these people informed from the get-go.
Definitely, and if you listen to that short clip, which was only a little bit of a very lengthy meeting, you will see that people do know what's going on. I think it's quite disrespectful to approach them from that angle. But here we are, and we should inform ourselves in order to empower ourselves.
All right, with that, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back talking Sanlam in economic news.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
All right, we're going to be heading straight into our economic news, and we're going to be talking about Sanlam launching its briefing sessions. Let's get into it. Sanlam Group CEO Tertius Steers today launched the Sanlam Brief Sessions, a series of monthly panel discussions focused on economic, financial and business aspects of the economy. Philippus Siku was there.
Thought-provoking discussions on topical issues in business, finance, economics, furthering Sanlam's commitment to contribute to the economy and its people. Sanlam Namibia believe in the power of open dialogue and informed discussions to create stronger and more resilient economy. Through the Sanlam Brief Sessions, Namibians will have the opportunity to participate in these crucial conversations by attending in person, but also tuning in live through streaming and other inclusive means and accessibility. These sessions will offer a platform for experts, thought leaders, the public to exchange ideas, to discuss trends and explore solutions that can drive progress in Namibia. The economic landscape is consistently evolving, influenced by factors of technology, geopolitical shifts, and changes in consumer behavior.
All right, briefing sessions. Is that some kind of social responsibility?
Yes, maybe, but what I think is that it continues the theme we were talking about earlier about informing yourself to empower yourself. You know, those conversations that are being had, there's a lot of insight that one can gain just from listening. And it's available on various platforms. It's happening monthly. So you can schedule it in, you can make a point of spending half an hour or so and just listening, and then do a little bit of research for yourself for any questions, note down any questions you have. It's important to inform yourself. It's important to empower yourself. And money, some people say it makes the world go round. Your money is important and you need to look after your money. And the best way to do that is to know what's going on.
All right, so let us know if you were one of the people who were at the Sanlam briefing sessions. Put it in our comments to let us know what you may have learned. And for others, that's one of the reference points that you could use to, gain a grip, should I say a grip? There we go, control of your finances. Let's head to the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.38 next to the US dollar. 23.02 Namibian dollars gets you 1 British pound. 2.58 gets you 1 Chinese yuan. Commodities, gold, copper, and platinum managed some upticks. However, Brent crude oil had a downturn of minus 0.40%. All right, now earlier we were talking about intellectual property, and the biggest name, arguably, with regards to that conversation, at least in the last 2 years, has been OpenAI and ChatGPT. Now, we look at ChatGPT and OpenAI ousting CEO Sam Altman as we head into international news after the break.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and 1up2.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Algemeine Titan, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Now, ChatGPT maker OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been ousted after the board lost confidence in his ability to lead, the company said, sending shockwaves across the tech industry. OpenAI's chief technology officer Mira Murati will serve as an interim CEO, the company said, adding that it will conduct a formal search for a permanent CEO. Backed by billions of dollars from Microsoft, OpenAI kicked off the generative AI craze last November by releasing its ChatGPT chatbot, which became one of the world's fastest growing software applications. However, he has now been recruited as Microsoft's AI CEO.
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think that could happen in a lot of different ways. It's why we started the company. It's a big part of why I'm here today and why we've been here in the past and we've been able to spend some time with you. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong. And we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening, but we try to be very clear-eyed about what the downside case is and the work that we have to do to mitigate that. These systems do have the capability to influence in obvious and in very nuanced ways.
Tricky business there, Algeto. Hey, he started the company.
He's the founder.
He's the founder. They booted him out.
I just want to comment on the cutthroat nature of business.
My goodness.
They kicked him out of his own company, but He was hired immediately.
Bill Gates did not play. He said today, because Bill Gates, of course, has been struggling for relevance, competitiveness, particularly with Apple over there, making sure, and obviously they've been getting significant pressure from OpenAI. To be able to get the founder of OpenAI is amazing. Just another fact before we head down to our weather. 550 out of 700 employees of OpenAI demanded that the board of directors quit or they leave. So there is, as much as he's been hired by Microsoft, there is that standoff now between the board and director and 75% of their employees.
It makes you question the board's decision that he has to go because he can't lead. When 75 of the people who are following him
want
say,
him
we're going with him.
We're going with him. Stay with us as we head to the weather predictions after the break.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
All right, don't let the suit fool you. It has been absolutely sweltering in Windhoek. But let's have a look at the other weather predictions. Tsumeb is expecting partly cloudy conditions. In fact, that's mostly across the board. However, some showers can be expected in Oshakati with a 36-degree maximum. Hottest in the country, Omaruru and Rundu, as well as Katima Mulilo, sitting on 41 degrees, made a little cooler by the rain. Henties Bay, Swakop Mundit, all looking partly cloudy. Of course, a little more chilly. Oraniemund, 15 degrees Celsius minimum expected. Keetmanshoop, it's already hot there. It stays pretty hot with a 36 degrees Celsius maximum expected. Stay with us as we give you more news after the break.
Good evening and welcome to your Sunset News Sports section. I am Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. Acting Secretary General of the Namibia Football Association, Jochen Trott, says his work at the NFA is not finished yet and he will focus on the work that remains. Appointed on an interim basis in July last year, Trott served alongside the erstwhile FIFA Normalization Committee. The future of the Secretary General, however, hangs in the balance given that the NFA has elected a new leadership. Rounds 10 and 11 of the Debmarine Namibia Premiership are scheduled to take place this weekend. The Namibia Football Association has announced the NFA released fixtures in this regard and stated that the matches will be held at the Sam Nujoma Stadium. However, the city of Windhoek has said there will be no matches at the stadium, domestic or international, or in the immediate future. Contrary to reports, the Sam Nujoma Stadium has structural shortcomings that, as per CAF directive, must first be resolved. The defects are deemed dangerous and must be resolved, the city said.
You know what, I'm just going to keep my narrative positive. I can't wait till we can all unite in the stadiums again, supporting the Brave Warriors, as well as other club football teams. But thank you, Jesse, for bringing us the sports stories. Thank you, Algeto, for joining me and sharing your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you very much. It was a privilege.
Privilege indeed. Sunset News, DSTV 285, GoTV 25. Ashwin Bedi, don't end your night without us.